Thank you so much. Hi guys. So I am super excited to get to talk to you guys again. I started my first, panel 3 years ago with Women in Control. So I love what they're doing. I'm so for it, pro-female, and I just love the energy. My name is Wardah Sempa, and I am the editor of Link Up TV, a radio presenter at the Beat London FM, and a senior publicist with many musicians. Super fun, super stressful, but it is what it is. I love what I do, but there's also been many trials throughout my journey. This is why I think it's great to do a webinar like this to give you guys an insight on what really goes down. Now, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please pop your questions. Again, I really want everyone to get involved in this, and we'll give you guys a chance to answer 10 minutes before the webinar ends. Now, I would love to introduce the amazing panelists. We have Shahlaa Tahira, Lavontelle, and Kaylee Golding. I think they're supposed to come on. They're going to come on in a few minutes, but I'm super excited. Again, please utilize the Q&A because I really want to get you guys involved. Again, I know that a lot of people have asked me how I've got into the industry, and they've done so much already. So it'd be cool to kind of talk about everything. Again, if you don't agree with some of my opinions, please put them in the comments as well. I am so open, and sometimes I'll say things that people don't agree with, but it's fine. But yeah, let me see who else is in the chat. Oh, hi, hello. Okay, I think we're waiting for them to come on. Let me add them to this. Let's see. Bear with me. They on? I think they're on.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I think we're on.
Yay! I was like, oh my gosh, they left me here alone. What is going on? How are you? Oh my gosh, you're all here. Yay, beautiful women. Now, ladies, I think we're waiting for Lavontelle. Is she on here?
Yeah, I can see her.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Brilliant. I feel like I was thinking, where has she gone? But now, ladies, it's really good to finally get you guys on board. Honestly, for me personally, I feel like you've individually smashed it for women in radio, especially being a Black woman. And I would love you guys to kind of talk about your journeys and how you got into radio. So, Kaylee, would you like to begin?
Yeah, of course. So I started radio back home in Birmingham from when I was like 14, just doing lots of volunteering. I'm a bit of a geek, so I studied radio as well at college and university. And then that's when I made the big move to London. And then my main journey kind of started at the Beat London. So I started there as an intern, worked my way up to head of production. And at that point, I was really battling production and presenting. But now I've decided you can do both. Like, no one can tell me what to do. I'm going to do both of them. So, so since then, I've just been doing both. So I currently work as an assistant producer for the Magic Breakfast Show. And then presenting, I'm on Represent BBC WM back here in Birmingham. So, yeah, that's me.
Oh, I love that. This is what I'm saying. Energy, let's go, energy. And what about Shahlaa Tahira? What about you? I feel like I've known you for years and you've done so much. So how did you get into the industry?
My first proper industry experience was doing something called Music Potential back when Capital Extra was Choice FM. And then from there, I kind of hustled my way into the building. I was assistant producing Kojo and Jay's breakfast show on Capital Extra. I was also presenting a daily lunchtime show at Represent. Then I moved and did like a residency at Rinse, started managing talent at Roundhouse Radio, and now I'm teaching it at Global Academy. Wow. And now I produce DJ Edu on Wednesdays. I'm gonna go and I'm literally gonna be in this building at BBC Now till midnight tonight. Wow. And then on Sundays, I produce and co-host One Extra Talks on One Extra as well. So, yeah, radio is like my life. But I started a bit later than Kaylee. I started it like early 20s.
Oh, wow. How did you get into it for those that are really interested in radio?
I was just really proactive, like coming to things like this, like going to panels, going to workshops, like stalking people. I mean, now it doesn't work as well because everyone's DMs are full, but like stalking people online and like also like upskilling. So like Kaylee, I started on the production side And that's how I managed to like get my foot in, by starting as like an assistant producer rather than coming in like, I want to be a presenter. I showed that I could do both sides of things, and it's paid off.
That's amazing. And what about you, Lavontelle? I feel like it's interesting to kind of see where you got into it, because for me, I kind of saw you as an influencer before, and now I see you as a proper radio presenter. It's amazing to see how you've grown. So I really want to know how you got into radio as well and presenting.
Yeah, of course. Big up Kaylee. Big up Shahlaa. Is it Shahlaa? How do I say it?
Yeah, Shahlaa.
Shahlaa. Oh, I like the spelling. I love the spelling. You hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Cool. So for me, how did I start? I started as an intern. No, it started in university. I was in my second year and I was studying journalism. So I knew I wanted to go into like media, but I wasn't sure yet. I was listening to Pulse 88 on the radio when I was in uni, like every single day. And then I had a friend that was on a radio station in Birmingham, because she went uni in Birmingham. And I was like, oh my gosh, like people are actually on radio shows like at my age, because I was really young at the time. I was like, wow, people can actually get onto like community stations. So I was like, all right, cool. Then I think the next day or something, it was like it happened at the right time, because the next day I think I had an advert on Pulse saying we're looking for presenters, just send in a demo. So I was like, okay, I'll do it, but I have no experience whatsoever, but let me just do what I can do. So I used the studio in my uni, recorded a demo, edited it. Luckily, my course teaches you how to edit, it's a part of the course. And then from there, sent my demo. And then from there, they were like, yeah, come in. I was like interning for like the whole of the summer, like just working my ass off. I didn't get a show till like that winter. And then from there, that winter, I also started interning at the Beat London. So I had my radio show, which was 1 day a week. And then within the next few months, it increased to 2 days. Then I was still interning at the Beat London. So I was doing both. Plus uni, plus part-time job, plus whatever, you know, us women, we like to just multitask in it. We're just amazing at it. And then from there, left Pulse, got a show on the Beat, started off with 1 day a week. And then from there, I went to full-time. This is when it became my job, Monday to Friday. And then from there, I'm off the Beat now, but I'm definitely going back into radio. I'm on like a hiatus, but radio, I love radio. And the fact that I've come off it and I miss it this much just shows me how much I really, really do love it. So yeah, I've done like little, what would you call it? Like a residency, like one-off radio shows, like bookings, Soho Radio and other little, other stations, but
it's crazy because I feel like we've all got something in common. We've all done like multiple things at once, and that is the definition of the music industry. Like you kind of got to hustle your way to even get in, and I think it's amazing. For me now, I've had a lot of assumptions in my career on my personality. So because I'm a woman, sometimes I'm told I'm too aggressive because I speak up, or I'm doing too much because if I feel disrespected, I'll speak up, which can be so frustrating. Or in the past, not getting, certain job interviews because of my name, or not getting into roles in a high-paid job, which I'm more than qualified for, and finding out the percentage of Black people that work in that company is very, very minimal. Now, I know that all of you ladies have your journey, and I'm sure throughout your career, it hasn't been easy. Kaylee recently highlighted in the campaign the percentages of how many people of colour actually get hired from the likes of Global, BBC and more, which is shocking, by the way. I really want to know from all of you guys, what's your journey been like in radio, and what made you decide to speak out about the lack of equality on radio? Kaylee, because she spoke about the campaign, and I really want to know, like, obviously the radio industry, we all know how the percentage is like. The industry, let alone radio, we're women, we're Black women, it's not easy. And Kaylee, I really want to know what made you want to speak up, and yeah, because I'm really interested to know.
Okay, so it all kind of started. So it was myself and two people that I studied with called Palama and Sarah, and they were my friends in university. Now, throughout the whole of university, there'll be a lot of times that was kind of taught like traditional radio, like this is how it should sound. It should be like Radio 4 documentaries. And I'll be like, well, I want to do a documentary on like gay women in hip hop. Like, that's what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? And everyone was like, no, you need to do it about this or about that. And I thought, well, this isn't the radio that I listen to. Like, I listen to documentaries on One Extra, like Trevor Nelson talking about Aaliyah. Like, this isn't the traditional radio anymore. Things are changing with different strands. So I was frustrated throughout like the whole of university about the lack of content and how it was kind of looked down on if you were making Black content within radio. So then throughout uni, like my two girls, I'll be like, Kaylee, just do what you want. Like, just do what you want. Do you. If that's what you want to do it. So then it really, with Blackout Tuesday, oh God, my alarm go. With Blackout Tuesday, we've seen a lot of stations posting about it. And my friend was just like, is it just me, or am I are you frustrated about this? Because these stations are posting for Blackout Tuesday, but they're doing no other content about Black Lives Matter, and they've got no Black presenters, but they want to jump on the hype and do Blackout Tuesday. No, that's not cute. You ain't gonna do that. So then they put all the statistics together, and they came and they brought it to me, and they was just like, Kaylee, like we've been there, because they're not from an ethnic minority, but they've been there throughout my whole journey and seen how frustrated I've been for so many years. And they've been like, look, we've done this. We want to help you. Like, we want to get this out. So at that point, I was terrified, because I thought, wow, that's my job gone. I'm about to blacklist myself, but they're going to learn today anyway, so let's do it. So I was sending it to like my managers at Bauer and just across the whole industry. And I remember sending that email and just bursting into tears, closing my laptop and just thinking, that's it for me. Like, I'm done. I shouldn't have done this, but I know it's the right thing. It's what I want to do. And then since then, there's just been so many different conversations and so much change within the industry in this short space of time, while we're in a world pandemic, by the way. So there's meant to be this hiring freeze across companies, and they can't bring in new talent, this and that. No, you can. You are going to do that. You are. So it's just been so great, and I'm just so glad. And now we have a podcast as well that kind of talks to different Black creatives across the industry, because each of our journeys are different, but they're also the same. And each person that we speak to, like, they bring something different. So someone may have worked in TV before, and then they're comparing it to TV. Someone might have worked in American radio from an all Black owned station, then now they're on a commercial station. They compare the difference. So as we have more of these conversations, it will spark more change, because we all have our different stories to tell. So this year's just been so amazing, and I'm so hopeful. Like, I've been a radio geek from day one. I love radio so much, but now I've fallen even harder in love with radio, because I know where it's going to go. Do you know what I mean?
I love that energy, because I know in the industry there's certain things that you can't post about, because everyone will be like, I don't think it's a good idea to post this because this person's not going to mess with you. I don't think you should post this because this person's not going to mess with you. And I don't think it's fair. I think it's good to call out the truth and what is going on. And I properly rate what you're doing with the campaign, because at the end of the day, not a lot of people are calling them out, because they are big companies, massive. And a lot of people must have felt, I know for a fact, like when I posted your campaign, someone, I'm not going to say any names, but someone messaged me and was like, is it a good idea to post that? And I was like, I'm going to post it though, because at the end of the day, she's talking facts at the end of the day. She is talking facts. Yeah. So it's really interesting to see that point of view. Did you get any kind of backlash throughout that campaign?
Do you know, I actually haven't had any backlash. Like, I'm sure people have probably said things like behind closed doors, but it's kind of, we're in a generation that you will get calling out. Like, you can't come at me this kind of way like anymore, because you will get calling out. And throughout my time getting into radio, like, I've had so many different things be said to me that I'm literally just like, I'm at this point that I'm not going to no more be like, all right, cool, I'm just going to ignore if someone says something. I'm going to put it to the back of my mind and ignore it. So I think because of we're just moving so reckless as a whole generation, people know you literally can't tell us shit. Like, you can't say anything to us, because you're just going to blacklist yourself. You can't blacklist me. No, you're going to blacklist you. Do you know what I mean?
The energy that everyone needs to have. That is the energy that everyone needs to have. And I love that, and I'm inspired by it. And that's one of the reasons to why I really wanted you on here, because I know that it can't have been easy to do something like that. And you did, and you actually showed everyone facts. So yeah, it's amazing. And I really want to speak to kind of Shahlaa. Again, you've been in radio for a long time. For me personally, I met you in 2016. I was about to say 2006. Like, I'm not even that age. I'm quite young. But in 2016, and I remember thinking, wow, she's amazing. You were hosting, you've done things with Capital One Extra, BBCs. What's your experience like, and how did you keep pushing? Like, what was a battle throughout your, experience in the industry, and how did you overcome it? Because I know there's been plenty.
Yeah, and I think it's so different depending on where you're working. So when I was like doing more commercial stuff with Capital Extra, the battle was me not fitting like what they wanted a black female to be like, not too black, but you still got to be urban. And then I think my battle with community radio as a black female was like the content I was making, it had to be very pop culture. It had to be very like Kim Kardashian's ass, when I don't really care. Like, I don't care. But like, that's what like I was not trained to believe was important, but almost like, yeah, you've got to jump on what's like the pop culture side of things rather than just making what I like. And then now the battle at the BBC is obviously not being, you got to stay on the fence a bit. You can't be too one side or the other side. You have to stay impartial. But I think similar to Kaylee, this year, I just decided like, I'm only making content I want to make now. I'm not making content what I think a brand says I should be making, or what I think the audience might want me to make. And I've made a really conscious decision that like anything I'm making now, it's because from my heart, like that's what I want to share with the world, not because I feel like that's what's going to make me blow or that's what this brand wants. And I think that's the problem with black females. We're so, like when you look at the food chain, you've got your white male, then you've got your other males, whatever race that is, then you've got your white female, then you've got your
the bottom.
Yeah. And especially if you're not like the certain type of black female that society perceives as what black females should be, then you're always fighting against that stereotype. And I think that's been my biggest struggle, like just accepting who I am and like just making the stuff I want to make rather than what I think I should be making.
What I really wanted to know is, what did you do to get to that place? Because I know that a lot of people do work with these, big corporate companies like you have, and you've gone from big company to big company to big company. So I know that is a lot of pressure. What did you do to kind of get yourself thinking, like, I'm a G, I'm supposed to be here? Like, what did you do? Like, did you go to the gym? Did you have certain friends? Like, what motivated you to keep going?
Yeah, I definitely think the people around you are very important. Shout out people like Gavin and Nikki, who are like...
Gavin's amazing, big and up.
I don't know what I would do without them. Like, they remind me, like, and even my partner, who's always like, you're Shahlaa Tahira, why are you worrying about that? I think you need that, because sometimes as a presenter, you can have a lot of self-doubt and comparison and envy, and you look at other presenters and you think, oh, maybe if I act more like this or more like that, and you just need those people around you to reassure you, like, no, what you're doing is fire. No one's going to do what you want to do better than you, and just keep reassuring you. And the jobs will come. Like, it's funny, as I said, this year is the year that I decided I'm only going to make content I want, and I'm now co-hosting on a national platform, the biggest platform I've hosted on so far, and doing like One Extra Talks is about like social issues, and like last week we was talking about police brutality, and these are things that I really want the world to hear about. And when I think back to my Represent days, when I was just talking about Kim Kardashian, like was it fulfilling me really? Do you know what I mean? So it's all about, your circle's a big part of it, and having people believe in you to reassure you on your down days.
100%. I think for me as well, I was working for IB Times, so they're kind of like the Daily Mail years back. And I remember most of my articles about Kim Kardashian were getting millions. So they always kept pushing me to post about Kim Kardashian, to a point where when I became the editor of Link Up, I incorporated talking about Kim Kardashian on Link Up. And then I realized, wow, like, a lot of the followers that follow Link Up are proper real. They don't want to hear about this stuff. They want to hear about what's real that is going on. And I'm so fortunate because I work with Link Up and I learned how to kind of develop what people actually want to hear about. And that isn't about Kim Kardashian and stuff like that. We know they're rich. Everyone knows who they are. And we like that trashy TV sometimes, but to an extent, it does get boring because we do have a life and that is not our life. So it's really, really interesting to bring that up, because I was getting so much like hate from it, from the link up page. Why are you posting about Kim Kardashian? And I was like, do you know what? They're right. Why am I posting about Kim Kardashian? Like, no one cares, kind of thing. So it's really, really interesting. What do you do now to kind of keep yourself motivated? So I know that you said that obviously you've got to be around certain friends and stuff like that, but what else do you do to kind of keep you know, motivated? I know people that are tuning in, I might thinking, what else, you know, can you do to keep motivated?
So, do you know, my sister-in-law asked me this the other day. She was like, how come you're always so positive? And honestly, I'm not. Like, I think it's like that self-love where you allow yourself. Sometimes there's days where I will just have a duvet day. Like, I will just binge on Netflix all day, be in my feelings, like, but I think the main thing is, and I don't want to go too much into my life story, but like, there's been points I've been homeless and I got through it. And so it's them ones where it's like, however, whatever negative is happening now, it's temporary till now. Just know, like, you're working towards a longer term goal, and how you're feeling now is not how you're going to feel in 2 weeks, in a month, in a year, because the days just keep going. So as long as you keep waking up every day, even if that's all you do that day, you're going to move on from how you're feeling in that moment.
I love that. And there's something else that I used to do as well. I'm not sure if you guys do it, but The Secret as well. I remember reading books like that, like you know, motivating, self-positive books. They really, really help in terms of keeping your mind right, because all of us, we're always going to have days where we're depressed. We're always going to have days where we feel like we just want to sleep all day and watch Netflix. We're human. But when you're reading books like that, and when you're around positive people, and when you're even like, I like going to the gym to an extent, it makes me feel good, but some other people, it could be jogging or walking or just being around friends. But I think it's just powering your mind to understand that, like, it's your mind, like, you've got the power over it, and reading these books kind of motivate you into kind of managing that, if I'm making any sense. Kind of. But Lavontelle, you've been in a lot of blogs a few times, especially because of your private life. You know, it gives viewers a chance to kind of indicate their opinions and stuff like that. How do you keep motivated on the negativity? Because I know that when you're on certain blogs like the UK Gossip, the Shade Borough and stuff like that, people always have something to say. And with what you do and with what your work, how do you keep motivated? I know, it's true though, because people are mad, you know.
Well, okay, depends what for. Like, so if it's like personal stuff, then I just don't really entertain it. Like, I just like, I'll be with my mum or like my friends. Like, my mum's like my best friend. She's just amazing. My family are so supportive of my career, and I'm so blessed. Like, the thing is, I appreciate everything in my life. Like, so like, down to just having supportive parents that support what I do, because a lot of people don't have that. So I love my family like a lot for that. So yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, if it's personal stuff, then it's difficult, but you just gotta just come off your phone. That's what like, you need to remember, when you put your phone down, it all ends there. Like, there's the phone, put it down, now you're in the real world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
100%.
It's like that. But if it's like something like an interview or something, then the comment section's there's always going to be someone in the comment section that you don't like. Always. Like, if it's on a blog, you have no control over that. But you know, I appreciate the blogs for stuff like interviews and stuff, because even if they have their reasons for posting it, whatever their reasons are, like, it's still getting the word out there, like, about your work and what you do. So that's what blogs are there for, and that's what they can help in fields like the media industry, because they can push your content, or they can push your brand, or push you as a presenter, or whatever you are, host, etc. So it depends how you see it, and like perspectives and everything. And like, reading books like The Secret, I did a lot of that. I'm actually going to reread it now that you've mentioned it.
It's so good.
Because I love that book, like, love it to pieces. And yeah.
It's crazy because I've read that book a good 6 times.
Have you?
You need it at the end of the day, you need it. I also want to know, you know, with your presenting and radio career as well, you have this confidence with you. How do you stay confident? How do you become confident? Because I know that a lot of people, when they start out doing radio, they do get nervous in talking in front of the camera and stuff like that. So how do you get that confidence?
I wasn't born with it.
No one was.
It didn't. No, but you say that, but some people it comes naturally to. I'm not one of those people, believe it or not. I'm not. Like, some people, you know, confidence is just a natural given thing for them. And I wish I could be like that. I've like literally had to teach myself and learn to be this way. And it's just, you know what, I've done a lot of, like, putting myself in really like uncomfortable situations or throwing myself in the deep end. Like my first year presenting, I did the craziest, I hosted some crazy events, and I look back and I'm like, as being so young at the time and just starting out, to host Afro Hair and Beauty in front of thousands of people, to do the Black Magic Awards with all these high profile celebrities in my first year, these are the type of things that build your confidence. And I probably wasn't as good back then as I probably would be now, because I've obviously improved, but it's the fact that you put yourself in the deep end. So, like, if you're starting out and presenting, if an opportunity arises and you feel like it's too big for you, don't think that, like, just do it anyway. Like, literally, you choose for a reason, just do it anyway, because, you know, it's all a learning. So you're going to need to build up your confidence from somewhere. And so for me, I've definitely had to learn that, and, you know, trial and error, and ask for feedback and watch my videos back, listen back to your shows. I did that every single week. When I first started post, I listened back to my show, got feedback, and then the next week I improved. I took it so seriously. Like, you have to love it. I took it so seriously.
100%. There was one video that I saw of you and your dad, and literally it went crazy. When I tell you guys, her dad is beautiful. He's beautiful, and everyone has openly said that. Now, that was a sick content because a lot of people on social media were retweeting it and talking about it and stuff like that. How do you think of new content? How do you get, you know, inspired to think of new content like that?
Do you know what? These things have kind of just happened. So that stuff was like great, because you know what it is, as a presenter, it kind of helped to show more personality and people liked it. But that was just like birthed out of lockdown. Like, we were just bored in the house and in the house. And I was like, oh, TikTok's popping. And there was this routine. It was like old school. We did the dance in it. I can't remember the song, but it was like an old school song. And me and my dad, we love old school. My whole family does. We said, oh, let's learn the routine. It was a sunny day, whatever. And we learned it in the park. And then my mum just helped us record it.
I love that.
Uploaded it. Honestly, I had no idea that it would go out of control like that. I just put it up for fun, literally. Thought it was funny. Thought it was fun.
I loved it. I can't lie to you. I loved it. He's beautiful. Tell him I said that. He's a beauty.
His head's already really big, but I will.
Oh, I love that. And what I want to ask everyone as a collective is, what advice would you give to the 16-year-old versions of yourself? And what advice can you give the viewers who are tuned in that want to get into radio, presenting, or even the media industry? Maybe Kaylee could go first.
Okay, so I would say, I know we spoke a lot about confidence, but that generally is like the most important thing. Like, I always speak openly about how I stuck with production to begin with, simply because I thought I couldn't be a presenter. And that was so many insecurities. Like, I've demoed in so many different big stations, and I've been told to lose weight. I've been told my accent's too brummy and it needs to be more neutral. I've been told so many different things. But then what do? I make a brand out of it. I call myself your favorite girl from Brum. Do you know what I mean? You have to build any insecurities you have. You have to say, no, I'm going to build a brand out of it. So if people want to moan about things like weight, okay, then focus on being body positive, make yourself feel good within that. If people want to moan about your skin complexion, then do you know what? You specialize in that even more. Do you know what I mean? Because if that's what you have to do. You have to own your insecurities. So I wish that I said to myself from the beginning, no, you can be a presenter. Don't wait years later until you're finally confident, because now I've done more things as a presenter than I had to have as a producer. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still a producer on a national radio station, but then I've also presented for Radio 1. Do you know what I mean? So if I just said from the beginning, no girl, you're sick, you're lit, you're everything that you need to be,
100.
then where would I be now? Do you know what I mean?
And it's crazy because I love your accent, and I think that's what was crazy.
I love it, girl. Now I love it.
No, I do, because when I first spoke to you, I remember it was at the beat, yeah, I heard your accent, I was like, are you kidding me? Keep on talking. And what's interesting is me growing up as well, I think we all saw a certain type of look with presenters. So it always made you feel like you had to do the production side, or you had to do this. You couldn't actually be in front of the camera because you didn't look a certain way. And to be honest, I think we've all gotten to a point where we're proving that that's BS, basically. That is BS. And it's amazing to see that regardless of your accent as well, like you're still kind of smashing all these walls, and I love it. What about you, Shahlaa? In fact, Kaylee, you didn't answer the question. What advice would you give your 16-year-old self? Just the confidence.
Dude, that's exactly what it would be, to just be confident and ignore your insecurities. Like just forget about them, especially now in radio and just in media as a whole. Like people want to be represented. People want to see themselves in presenters. It's not radio now that you just hear people's voices. We see our presenters now, we see them. And if they're people that look nothing like you, sound nothing like you, not talking about things that are relevant to you, then why would you even listen? Like, as you were saying about Kim K earlier, we're, as a generation now, we're over it because that's not our lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? We want to hear about what's actually going on in a real life with real people. So if you have any insecurities, just know there is an audience for it. There is an audience for absolutely everything, like always. So don't think, oh yeah, I can't do that because of so-and-so don't like it, or this person don't like it. And the same way, if you get rejected from another station, don't worry, because a different one will want you. Like there's so many different radio stations that it is a joke. So don't settle. Like I could throw out so many stories. I got told like to put on a wig. For what? You don't want me to go to the event? I won't go. Do you know what I mean? I'll go to an event with another station, like it's cool. And once you have that energy, do you see that energy? Yeah. They can't affect that. And you'll roll on and you'll get so many different experiences and you'll look back like, who? Do you know what I mean?
I think everyone also needs to remember the reason why you are the way you are and you're confident is because you've gone through what you've gone through. So if I didn't get the no's and if I didn't go through this situation, I would not be as confident as I am to talk about all these things. And that's a fact. And I know that you also talk a lot about the LGBT community, which is it's really, really hard on radio because some people are really, really sensitive. That's a fact of it. We live in a sensitive society. So how do you even deal with that?
As I said, I just don't care for them people. I'm going to talk about it regardless. Because you know what I've learned? Like, seriously, if you know this is who I am from the beginning, like, if you follow me, you are going to see a gay boy twerking. Get over it. You don't want to see it? Unfollow me. You'll hear a documentary about gay black women in music. That's what you will hear. If you don't like it, go away. 'Cause at the end of the day, we're at a point now that regardless, people want to be represented. So you're going to hear like One Extra for their breakfast show. They had Dottie. Do you know what I mean? And that's one of the biggest radio stations in our community. So you can't argue against that. We're at a point now that people can't be nasty to you based on who you are without it looking worse on them. We're in 2020. It's now embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be rude to people about what's different about them. Do you know what I mean? So
you see your energy, your energy is nuts. Like I'm feeling it through the screen and I'm loving it and I'm taking it. That's all I've got to say. I am taking the energy. But also, Shahlaa, what would your advice be to your 16-year-old self? And what advice would you give the viewers who would like to get into radio presenting or in the media industry?
So to my 16-year-old self, it links to what Kaylee said a little bit, but it's just stay in your lane. Know you have your own lane. I'm still guilty of it to this day. Like envy is a real problem of mine. But I have to check myself a lot and be like, don't be watching, like have that tunnel vision when it comes to what you want, because you're not going to be Kaylee, you're not going to be Shahlaa, you're not going to be Lavontelle, you're going to be you. So there's no point watching everyone else, just stay in your lane. I know it's hard with Instagram now and like everything's visual, so that's why it's always in your face, but just try and stay focused on what you want and being the best you rather than trying to be something
someone else. And that's probably the biggest advice that I got when I was a little bit younger, that there will not be another you. So you might as well utilize that and get the confidence to love yourself so you can do amazing content at the end of the day. So it's, yeah, there's no point in watching other people and following other people because you're not another Maya Jama or you're not another Shahlaa. Do you know what I mean? You're not. So it's always best to kind of think of your own content and something that you truly, truly enjoy, because people can kind of see it when you're doing content, when it's not forced. But even Lavontelle, also, what is your advice for your 16 self, and for people that want to get into the industry? Can she hear me? Oh, cool. Yeah, perfectly.
I think it would be to just focus on like solely, because at 16 you're quite young, you're like just going into college, isn't it? Yeah, so you're going into college, you got all your mates, you're getting distracted. Just to focus, like to start as early as I can in your career, like try and figure out what you want to do, and even if you don't know exactly what you want to do at 16, because that is really young, try out anything you can do at that time to try and figure out what you want to do. So filter out what you don't like so you can understand more of what you do like, and just start like now. 16 is a great age to like just get cracking with your career, have fun with it. Like it's gonna pay off so much more for you if you can start as early as possible. So yeah, maybe starting early. Like don't kill yourself, still have fun, but like even if you're just doing what you love a bit, that will pay off more than trying to do. You get what I mean? So start early, you know, just being driven and focusing. And advice to getting into the industry, networking is like probably number one above probably everything. Yeah, it is number one, like above everything, above absolutely anything, because it's all about who you know. Like you need to be, like people in the industry. You need to be going to events. Like everyone that's in this this webinar, seminar, what you would call it, like this shows you that you're passionate about radio. Do you know what I mean? And this is amazing that you're in here today, because these are the things that I was doing when I first started. I went to every single event, all Ramel London's events, every posted by myself. Go by yourself as well. When we can like go physically again, like in person, go by yourself, honey. Go by yourself and challenge yourself. This is how you build your confidence. Maybe the first event, I might go with your mate. I'm like, cool, I'll allow you the first time. But the second one, challenge yourself to go by yourself, make some new friends, network. Even little things like this. I do things like, I remember I was so shy to like ask questions at the end. You know, they're like, oh, so who's got any questions? Yeah. I'm just there like, oh, should I say my question?
That used to be me, yeah.
You're so but now obviously I can do it. But what I did is I would set myself a little target. So like the next event, I'm going to put my hands up at the end and actually ask the question. And then I did it. And then from there, became more and more confident. So set up little targets, personal targets, and network. Be a lovely person, be a kind person. If you're not a people's person or you're not a nice person, you're probably not going to survive in this industry, because like, I mean, it depends. Okay, I say that it's either you're a great person or you're really strong in how you are. So like a Charlemagne or a Piers Morgan, but you have to hold that to the T. So like choose your lane, innit? And I think it's a lot easier to just be a great person, but you know, each their own.
I think you were right in terms of networking. I think we all forget that is really, really important. I know a lot of opportunities I've received is because of networking, and I don't believe that I would have accomplished. Well, I know I would have, because I'm hardworking, but it wouldn't have been at the stepping stone that I took if I hadn't known this person or this person and this person. So networking is so key. And what's interesting is you mentioned events. I know a lot of people do find it hard in approaching someone that they've either watched on YouTube or proved online, and they just want to be like, oh, hi, like, I'd love your advice. I know that a lot of people do suffer in doing that, in approaching people. So what advice would you give those people that actually want to get the confidence in actually approaching those people when they do go to events?
It depends what you want to say to them. So like kind of have it set in your head, like what am I going to them for? Is it just to tell them that I appreciate them and that you love what they do? And if that's the case, then just have it in your head. Or do you want like their email address or business cards? I don't know how much that's outdated now, but some people still have business cards. It's worth asking. Do you have a business card, or what's your social media, or how can I keep in contact with you? Or do you do mentoring? Like I used to ask that question a lot. Like, do you mentor? Like, like, just think about what you're going to ask, obviously, before, so you're not going there and you're like stuck with what to say. But yeah, just prepare.
That would be awkward. That would be awkward. But you know,
they won't. Honestly, people in the industry are so lovely. Majority of the time, presenters are usually really lovely people. So I doubt that they would ever make you feel horrible, like make you feel inadequate or anything. So
yeah,
Can
definitely.
I add something to that networking bit? Something I got told early on. Be prepared as well, because Kojo said this to me, the legend Kojo. He was like, luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So it's all good when you meet them people, but be also ready. So when they give you that opportunity, you can deliver, because there's no point having the person in the right place if then when they bring you in, you embarrass them because you didn't know what you was doing. So I think it's a combo of the network and also being prepared for like those opportunities.
definitely.
I completely agree to you as well. Also, so we've obviously got 20 minutes until the webinar ends, and I know that a lot of people have got a lot of questions to ask, and there's one question that I obviously want to ask you guys. It's from Amelia Clark, and she said, as an aspiring presenter, I would love to know any tips and any advice on how to find opportunities. I have a podcast and I feel like I've tried everything, but I've hit a brick wall. So what would you guys advise for her?
I don't mind going first. I think where people make a lot of mistakes, and this goes for presenting, this goes for if you're a music artist, just generally, is that they always just look at who's at the front of the station. Like, and let's be real, going to a presenter is wicked. You can get advice, but they haven't got the power to put you on a station. Like, straight up, they don't. Do you know what I mean? All they can do is probably give you advice, mentoring, and maybe the email to the right person. Do your research on who can actually hire you and who can actually get you on the station properly and get you in for a pilot, get you in for a demo. So it's a case of going on things like LinkedIn, just putting a radio station and putting who's a programmer on this station, who's an executive producer, because even like assistant producers are wicked, like, and sometimes they have influence, but if you really want to be up there, then look for programmers, head programming, the radio can look, and even if you're not ready to contact them yet, at least follow them. So in their head, by the time you to contact them, like they're thinking, oh yeah, you've been around for time, I've had you on here for ages, wow, you've been doing the most, you've been in for years. Do you know what I mean? So I think the most important thing is seriously follow everyone behind the scenes, because they're going to be the people that can get you on a station.
100%. And actually, the reason why I got my Represent Radio role actually a couple of years ago before it went down was because of Twitter. So because I was following the person who was hiring presenters on Twitter, he saw a bit of my stuff, my podcast previous to that, and he was like, I would love you on Represent. And I think on Represent, on Radar, and also after that with The Beat, it was the same thing. I was following someone from The Beat, the people that were actually hiring for the presenters, and that's how I got the role. So I think you're right in terms of you do need to follow the right people, and it's not just the presenters, but it is like, what do you call them?
So you have head of stations, program controllers, assistant producers. There's so many different roles within radio that people don't actually realise. Like, and if you come from like, okay, student radio, pirate radio, you'll have a presenter. That's it. They'll do the whole thing on their own. And then maybe you go to community radio. They may have a station producer and then a station manager and then the presenters. But as you get higher up, there's so many different roles. And I would 100% say to learn about every single role, because each one has something different that you'll be able to benefit from. So learn, like, this is why when I say to people, be a radio geek, because that's how you get your foot in the door. And then when you have the talent, then it's going to be like, oh, okay, well, go on, let's hire you. Do you know what I mean?
This is what I'm saying. What about you guys, Shahlaa and Lavontelle? Do you have any advice to give to Amelia?
I think if you're already doing your podcast, you're already one step ahead because you've got content for your show reel. And on the bigger platforms, on the community level, it's easier to enter, even though it's still quite competitive now at community level. But for the bigger platforms, when you go into them buildings, they want to know, what have you done? Who can you bring to our network? So that, as I was saying earlier, like I'm working on putting out content I want to make, so then the right brands come to me. So sometimes don't have your goals in sight of where you want to get to, but don't dwell on that. Keep making content and keep building your brand. So when you do approach those brands that are your dream end goals, you've got something for them, because they want to see what you're going to bring to the table as well.
100%, 100%. We've got some more Q&A, so let's go down them. So we've got an anonymous attendee. How do you deal with it when you get rejected or told no? That's actually a good one. That's actually a good one.
Am I working?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Being told no.
I know for me, I kind of shake it up. So I think I'll be depressed for a few hours. I don't know about you guys. I'll be depressed for a few hours, and then I'll be like, well, you need to man up, because you're not going to get this job by crying because you got a no. There's going to be an opportunity for me. This might not be for me, but that's me personally.
Yeah, no, I think that's for most people. Like, you need to give yourself time or a moment to just be in your feelings, and that's okay. Like, you're human, so allow yourself to just feel a bit sad. Yeah,
Give yourself a moment.
Yeah, but then I think always see it as, you know what, you have to ask yourself one question actually, when you don't get an opportunity. Like, you need to know, did you put your all into that opportunity? If you didn't, then you need to take the L for yourself, knowing that maybe because I didn't put 100% in, I didn't get it. If you put 100% into that opportunity and you did not get it, it was never for you. Simple. It was never for you at that time. So then you need to remember, okay, so timing is everything. Timing is the essence. Things are going to come. There's going to be a door that's going to open. You have to just remain positive in your head. And like another way of like getting out of that stage of feeling sorry for yourself and feeling like you're not good enough is to actually just look over what you've already accomplished. Take a moment, just look back, maybe list everything you've done and be like, you know what? Maybe I am a G. Maybe I'm alright. Maybe that just wasn't for me. And that's okay. And just continue to work hard. Like, you just have to continue. That's what it comes down to. Like, I think that's the best advice I could give.
It's crazy because a lot of the times in the industry, I know that you girls might be the same. You're always thinking, what's next? What's next? So you've hit a goal, what's next? And you never actually sit down and think, oh my gosh, like, I'm a G. Like, I did this and I did that and I dreamed about doing that and I did that. So sometimes tap yourself in the back and understand that, like, at the end of the day, like, not everyone has accomplished what you have. So do you know what I mean? So don't be too hard on yourself, because I feel like a lot of the time we are so hard on ourselves when we don't actually need to be.
Yeah, and also if you know in that percentage that you didn't feel like you did your best, make sure you learn from it. So like, there's no point continuing if you're not learning from it. So like, write it down. Like, I'm someone that writes everything down. I find it really helpful to put a pen to paper. See if it works for you, but just write it down. Create a feedback book. I did that when I first started. Feedback book, it helps. Write down, oh, I didn't do this right, and now you know to look over it when something else comes up, never to do that again. At least you can say you've got that out of the way. That's
actually a really, really good one. We've also got another one. What's the most challenging moment of your career and how did you overcome this? Ooh. That's a really good one. Shahlaa, I was about to ask you, Shahlaa.
When I left Represent, it was at a time when they were going through a reshuffle in management, and my G Gavin, who you guys know, left, and Sifa left, and they were the two people who really, really believed in me. The other station management and said my voice is annoying, which is the best insult you can say to a radio presenter. And so I felt like I had to go with them. And I remember like giving him my 2 weeks notice of my show. And at this point, I've been doing 5 shows a week. Like, I was the face of the station while I was on there. And I remember feeling so nervous that like nothing's gonna come. And I went off to do some presenting at Fresh Island Festival. And I remember just getting through this email from Rinse that I'd sent about 6 months before, saying, can you come in for a pilot? And I was like, oh my God. You know, you think it's all over, like, and then that other opportunity comes through. And it's what you were saying, Lavontelle, about timing. Like, even when you think you've got a no, it may not be no forever, or it will be that that opportunity wasn't for you and a better opportunities down the line. So just know to yourself that, like, you're gonna have challenges. Nothing good comes easy. Like this place is like this. One day you feel like everything's in your face, and then
yeah.
But you just got to keep going. You just got to pick yourself up and know more opportunities are coming.
And Kaylee, what advice would you also give? Like, what's your most challenging moment of your career, and how did you overcome this? Okay, it's for me.
I think, okay, not gonna lie, so about a year ago, and it's mad because I'm currently on holiday in Great Yarmouth, and it's exactly a year ago that I had like a complete breakdown in a caravan crying because I was just like, I don't know what's next for me. Like, I know that I want this so bad. I'm doing everything I can possibly do, but nothing is coming. And sometimes it can get like that because even though you're at the peak, and don't get me wrong, like at this point, I was still like being a paid producer at Bauer. I was still doing my show on The Beat London. I still had things going on, but sometimes it feels like you're staying at that level and you're not excelling, you're just staying there. And I just got really frustrated with myself. And it's mad because as soon as I was just like, get a grip, I literally looked at myself in the mirror and I said, get a grip and keep it moving. And then within like a month later, I won 3 student radio awards and got my Radio 1 show. Do you know what I mean? So as soon as you get over that and you just say, get over it, keep moving, send emails, then you'll be fine. And what I've learned in this industry is that you always need to do so many different things because you don't know which one of them is going to drop tomorrow. Stations shut down, stations get cancelled. Your person that's your person in that station can leave tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? So many different things can happen. So you need to have a foot in every single door. Like, send emails while you're on the bus, send emails while you're on the tube. Like, the grind needs to be so real because the reason why we love this, that's what keeps us going, the passion, the love. Do you know what I mean? So you have to keep going and remember that because that will energize you. That's what will make you go, oh no, this is what I want to do. I'm going to send that email. I'm going to edit this piece of content. And that's what will keep you going and going and going.
And what's crazy, it's so funny that you said that with the energy, like with Link Up, like let's say there's the latest news, yeah, and we've just found out about the news like in 0 minutes, yeah. The guys will send me the news and I'll get one of the writers to post it and I'll be on the train trying to accept the article to make sure that we're the first person to obviously post the news. Because when we're the first people to post the news, it retweets a lot of people retweet it and get involved in it. So it's crazy you said that because I'll be on the train trying to like approve it and the signal's really bad and like, but that is the industry. Like, we go through so many crazy situations because we love it so much, and that's just what it is. We've got another question. Oh, hey. Oh, this is a good one. What advice would you give to artists in terms of approaching you guys for music? So, Lavontelle, what would you say?
I'm laughing because I know Kaylee is so passionate about this one.
Yes.
I ain't even going to talk about this. I'll be here all day.
No, I love it though. The energy, I love it.
Take it. I'm throwing it over to you. Take it.
But
no,
yeah,
you don't want to get me started, you know.
Nah, get it hyped up, I know. But Lavontelle, what would your advice be for musicians that are trying to get you to hear their music and stuff like that? Someone's like, oh, yes.
Like, send the email, but just send the email like properly. And that sounds really easy and, you know, straightforward, but just like, you know, hello, address the person. You don't need to, don't include unnecessary information as well. Just keep it quite straight to the point, like clear, make sure that the file is clean and attached. Don't have to click to link to link to link to link to link to find it. Just keep it really clean, cut. Look, just see it as, when you read it, is it clear to you? Is it straightforward to you? How would you read this email? Do you know what I mean? That's what I would say. Make sure it's clean. You can have, if you want to send a raw version, you can, but just make sure you send raw and clean. If you've got a music video, yes, you can attach the YouTube link, do stuff like that, but just keep it polite, formal, and pretty much to the point, and you're good to go. You're absolutely good to go.
I love that.
Don't DM me your music link. What am I doing on my phone?
So people get that. We've all received the DM of, can you please hear my music? I know I've received it. We've all received it.
Just don't DM them, because when, as like music people, we don't do that via our phone, so it's gonna get lost. It may not even, I might not even see it in the DMs. Also, if you've got a specific DJ you're trying to target, like, know your DJs. Do not send, for example, Reese Parkinson on daytime music. He can't play it. It's playlisted. It's a playlisted show. So know who you're targeting. Like if you've got some alternative R&B, send it to that specific DJ who's after a certain time, because otherwise you're just wasting time sending emails to people who can't play your music anyways.
100%. We've basically got 3 minutes left of the show. I feel like this show's gone really quick and I want to ask you guys more questions and it's annoying. It's actually really, really frustrating. But I want to ask you guys what is one word to describe this industry? And that is how we're going to end the webinar. One word to describe the industry.
I would say exciting.
Yeah.
I would definitely say exciting. Like, as I said, every single month, something new comes in and I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know where it comes from. And it just gets me so gassed and excited. Like, oh, and sorry to be a noise, yeah, but can I quickly add on to the music thing real quick? Yeah. I'll be so fast. Email heads of music,
Can I add that on?
playlist team at radio stations if you want your song playlisted. Head of music. Yeah. That's all. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. I'm done.
And what would the one word, Lavontelle? Is that French? Is your name French?
Let's go with that.
It sounds French. I like it. And what's the one word would you describe this industry?
My word is just an adventure.
Yeah.
I see it as just a big adventure full of ups, downs, but I always say creative people are the strongest people on this planet because it takes so much strength to just push through the amount of things we go through, the amount of uncertainty we go through in our career. To be passionate and driven and do it as a career, we're strong individuals. So yeah, big up all of us, everyone in here.
It's crazy, but I've asked everyone about the one word, haven't I? I feel like I haven't.
Mine was going to be
Shahlaa, exactly.
Journey, same as adventure pretty much, but like it is a journey, except that you're not going to get to your end destination in the first year. It's rare. It does happen, but it's rare.
100%. And I just want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to speak with me. You're all doing amazing, honestly. And where can everyone find you on socials?
Okay, so my Instagram's at Kaylee Golding, and then my Twitter's at Kaylee Golding _ because someone mugged me off and took my user. So just add underscore at the end of it.
Insta, Twitter, everything. Snapchat is all the same. Lavontelle, as it's spelled on the screen, if you can see it. MLAVONTELLE.
And Shahlaa?
Same, everything. I'm lucky that no one's called Shahlaa Tahira out here. So everything Shahlaa Tahira.
That's like me, Wardah Sempa. I feel like no other person has Wardah Sempa. I'd be really shocked if they did. But thank you so much for coming on board, guys. And make sure you guys tune in to Women in Control because they've got some amazing webinars coming on like today. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks, guys. Bye.